Mike Boyle admitted the first African-American electrician in Local 134, and that was Sam Taylor. You might be familiar with Taylor Electric. And that was in 1919, according to my research, all right? So he was the first African-American. The first African-American business agent in Local 134 was a guy named Herman Washington, all right? Now Herman came out of, there was a black electricians union in Chicago. They had a state or a federal charter. They weren't chartered in the IBEW, all right? And the primary leaders of that was an organization called the Patterson Club, all right? Mike Boyle had a business agent. His name was, it'll come to me, Bob Brooks. And Bob Brooks was patrolling the South Side area, the Bronzeville area and that stuff like that. And he mentioned to Mike that he needed some help patrolling just the black electricians and stuff like this. And he had a candidate that he felt would serve that role. And the reason why he might have chosen Herman was a graduate of Tuskegee Institute, all right? And he's a young fellow and stuff like that. So he became the first, not only was he the first black business agent in Local 134, he was the first black business agent in the building trades, all right? And he was made a business agent in March of 1943, all right? And he stayed that till 1958. He wasn't reappointed after Mike Kennedy became business manager. The Patterson Club, they would, they would hold classes, I know, when I came into the trade at Tooley Park on Saturdays, and that would to help the black electricians with the trade, pipe bending, circuitry and stuff. They would discuss various topics and stuff like that. Then, when we had the consent decree, the lawsuit, the original lawsuit was filed, I believe, in 1972. All right. The consent decree was entered into in 1984. In that decree, it was 40% of the starting apprenticeship classes had to be African American. All right. Judge Nicholas Boer was the judge overseeing that whole process. And I'm speaking for him, even though I don't know him. He knew that the 40% wouldn't be successful making the entire transition to journeymanship, right? But he had a number in his head. And so the industry had to meet with him periodically to look at the numbers of how many started, how many succeeded, how many were journeymen and stuff like that. So it released the industry in 1998 from the consent decree. And with that, there was a precipitous drop in the enrollment of African Americans in the apprenticeship program, all right, because there was no 40% requirement, right? So there were some teachers at the school, Jerry Shelton, Maurice King, and Anthony Griffin. They were all teaching at the school, all African American. And they came up with the Jump Start program to facilitate the process of getting more participation into the industry, And when I say it's hard, to get people involved, when you get young people in a room and say, this is going to be a cultural shock to you because what you're getting into, and the regimen of the program, can be very, very intimidating. So sometimes people just walk away. They don't want to meet that challenge and stuff like that. But they've been fairly successful in getting the numbers getting to a better percentage.